Well, the Wisconsin Badgers played an entertaining series against Notre Dame last weekend. It was 3-3 in the third period on Friday at the Kohl Center. Badgers ended up losing 6-4. Then Sunday night at the United Center in Chicago, a 2-2 overtime tie. Notre Dame eventually won in double overtime, so the Badgers got one of 6 points. They're only 4 points out of second place in the Big Ten, and they head to Minnesota to take on the second place Golden Gophers. I'm Brian Posick. Head coach Tony Granato joins us next on the Badger Hockey Digest.
And Dominic won it back to the point. Inamoto will shoot one, and it missed the net. Off the inboards, it bounces. Backhand shot. Badgers score! Half second to play in the period. They take the lead. Roman Ashawn makes it 2-1.
Well, Tony, this past weekend against Notre Dame, you're right there in the third period. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for your club, but we're seeing how close you are to getting a couple of wins to maybe get this second half going strong.
Yeah, I think the feeling after the weekend is of frustration and disappointment. But if you look at the big picture and you look at the last 5 series, 4 of the series, the Denver, Penn State, Notre Dame, and Michigan, we played teams that were top 16. So that means they were tournament teams at the time we played them. We've only lost 2 games in those 10-game span that we played. So we're close. We're playing well. The results, we'd like them to be a little bit better from the standpoint. You'd like to see wins instead of ties and overtime losses and close losses. But our team has played hard. We played well. Notre Dame, found a way to win Friday's game. I thought Friday's game we played outstanding. Our speed and how we played was great. Their goalie again, even though we were able to beat him a few times, still came up big in key situations. And so I'm happy with our effort. I'm happy with how hard we played, and I'm just, we got to stick with it, because I think, when you go through a stretch like that, you worry about your team's confidence and morale and spirit. But in the big picture, our guys have played really, really well and against really good teams. So this is a big weekend coming into Minnesota for us. Minnesota, Wisconsin. It doesn't matter what your record does. It doesn't matter anything. It's a Gopher Badger rivalry game weekend that everyone looks forward to. So it'll be exciting.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. In Chicago on Sunday night, Jack Barry got the starting goal, made 26 saves, and really played well. Daniel Lebedev got the start on Friday and had to leave the game after taking a skate to the neck. It amazes me that doesn't happen more often. Those blades are so sharp, and that kids or players, boys, girls, all the way up to adults, don't get cut a few more times than they do.
Yeah, I mean, we were fortunate that it was just a minor cut that needed some stitches, but it is scary when the skate comes up. Daniel's a tough kid. Obviously wasn't able to play on Sunday, but he was back in practice today, practice this week. He'll be available for us this weekend to play. And I'm not sure on who we're going to start yet on Friday, but I'm assuming both goalies will play this weekend.
Yeah, and we've seen too how young your club is. We've talked about it a lot, but the line of Mersch and Ashawn and Caulfield on Sunday in Chicago, they were really good. Dominic had a goal and should have had an assist, won a faceoff that led to Roman Ashawn's goal, and Roman may have been your best player on Sunday. He was everywhere and agitating, and he was fun to watch.
Those guys have been very consistent game in and game out throughout the year. They play hard. They play the game the right way. They don't cheat the game. They understand what their role is. They're passionate about the game of hockey. They got a ton of character. They're warriors. They're guys that you want on the ice and in your lineup and on your team. And to have them all play together and have such a big game and impact in the game on Sunday, it was nice to see them rewarded with goals as well. But they're a hard line to play against and been a big part of our team so far this year.
Another freshman who's been a big part of the team, Ty Emberson, the defenseman from Eau Claire, had a couple of assists in the Friday game against Notre Dame. You talk about players who do things right. Ty certainly does things right. He learned how to do it while playing in Eau Claire. Let's take 2 minutes with Ty Emberson. Ty Emberson's from Eau Claire, and there are a lot of Wisconsin ties with Eau Claire. Jake McCabe, Jake McDowell, Jefferson Dahl, Andy Akrovic back in the day, Nate LaPointe, right? Your equipment manager.
Yep.
You can't forget Nate, right? Mike Eves, Troy Ward, former Wisconsin coaches, coached at Eau Claire. Ian Perrin, Our broadcast partner was a former coach at UW-Eau Claire. That city's turned out a lot of really good hockey players, hasn't it?
Yeah, Eau Claire's a great city. It's a great hockey city. It's a great pipeline. So I think the coaches up in Eau Claire do a really good job. Youth hockey system out there is great. People stay home. People play for the Mustangs. And obviously, if you ever go up to Eau Claire, there's some really good high school games.
Certainly so. Eau Claire North and Eau Claire Memorial. Mm-hmm. What was that rivalry like?
That was unbelievable. My first experience was my freshman year. My brother had always hyped it up to me, and I always grew up going to the games. So I think just being able to play in it one time, have the student sections going, have the band going, and we got the win, so it was a little bit more fun, obviously.
You think about rivalries. You've got rivalries here now, too. Has anything matched what you experienced at Eau Claire?
I think it's a little bit, obviously, just like the Minnesota-Wisconsin rivalry. It's a border battle. It's close. We know a lot of people that go to their school. They know a lot of people that come here. So I think it's just a little bit closer to home. It's a little bit more pride on the line.
Yeah. Did you have a chance to rub elbows with Jake McCabe, Jake Dow, learn anything from those two, even Jefferson Dahl?
I definitely reached out to them when I was thinking about going to Wisconsin, thinking about going to the program, just reaching out and getting their 2 cents on what it was like, what the experience was like. And obviously when I made this decision to go, there's another thing just to reach out and have something to expect when I'm going in there, not just going in blindsided.
Sure. And you mentioned that the guys from both North and Memorial knew each other. Yeah. It's kind of like Wisconsin, Minnesota. Yeah, sure. You know quite a few guys that play for the Gophers, and you have actually had a lot of family members who went to the University of Minnesota too.
Yeah.
You're probably getting tugged when the Badgers and Gophers are going at it. Is it going to split your family up, Ty?
It's close to it right now, but I'm gonna have a lot of people up there at the Gopher game. My brother and sister both go there. So it's gonna be quite a few people, and we'll see who the true friends are who end up wearing Badger stuff for me.
The Learfield Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or at L Directors Cup on Twitter or Facebook. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
It's fun listening to Ty. He had so many family members go to Minnesota, and he thought about going to Minnesota, and now he's at Wisconsin. Good thing for sure. And you were talking, too, about the Gophers series. This is a big series. You're 4 points behind Minnesota in the Big Ten standings. They're in second place. 4 points separate second place from sixth place right now. So these are big games, as they will be the rest of the way.
And that part we knew coming into the Big Ten. We knew the parity. We knew how the conference laid out, that each and every game was going to be a battle. Every game that we've played in the last 10, it's been tied at some point, in the third period. So it shows how close it is. It shows, so it doesn't surprise me that the standings are that, jammed up. So yeah, it's a big weekend. Points are at a premium at this time of the year. We had 2 great games against them at our building earlier in the year, both 3-2 games. And like you said, it's a great matchup. It doesn't matter where it is in the season. It doesn't matter what team's doing what. When you put Wisconsin and Minnesota on the same sheet of ice, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, they have pretty good special teams. Bob Motzko, when he was at St. Cloud and now at Minnesota, their power play is good. Their PK is pretty good. Tyler Sheehy had a good weekend against you here in Madison earlier in the season. I know they just got swept at Michigan State, but we've seen them play some really good hockey this season too. They're still trying to figure out his system a little bit, but they've got plenty of talent.
They got speed. I think that's the one thing when you look at the Minnesota roster, you think of the speed that they have and their offensive ability to strike on the rush and on transition. So we'll have to be smart. It's a bigger rink out there, so it's even bigger than ours as far as the width goes. So we'll have to recognize that speed and be able to handle it as being a big factor in the game. But like you said, special teams, goaltending, it's no different than any other series. And looking forward to getting to Mariucci and having a good weekend.
Yeah, that's Tony Granato, Badgers head coach. Wisconsin and Minnesota Friday and Saturday night. Both games start at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Wisconsin. You can also listen on the Badgers Sports Network. I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.